Hi there, business owner, and welcome to the 3Bs podcast, the place where we go beyond the numbers and dive into strategies to help you build a better business one step at a time. I'm your host, Stephanie, a multi-award-winning entrepreneur with over a decade of experience in the bookkeeping and accountancy world. If you're a business owner looking to streamline, grow, and get back the time that you deserve, you're in the right place. We're tackling real-world problems, answering tough questions, and digging deep into business building secrets in just 15 minutes each week. So are you ready to build a better business with confidence and clarity? Then let's go. Hello and welcome back to another episode of the 3Bs podcast, your go-to place for around 15 minutes of motivation, inspiration and education to help you build a better business. If we haven't met before, hi, my name is Stephanie Marshall. I am a bookkeeper, business owner, and someone who genuinely cares about helping businesses feel more in control, more confident, and a lot less stressed when it comes to their numbers. Now, today's episode is a very timely one because we are at the end of March already. I know, I don't know where time goes, which means we are right at the end of the financial tax year. If you're a sole trader or if you run by the tax year April to April, then we're very, very nearly at the end. And this is the point where a lot of business owners start thinking, I should probably look at my numbers now, I should probably sort a few things, or I'll just deal with it in April. And that's exactly why I wanted to record this episode, because your business won't change because of what you think about doing. It changes because of the decisions you actually make. So today I'm going to talk about 5 decisions to make before this tax year ends, and we don't have long. No, not next month, not when things calm down, right now. Let's start with the one that most people avoid, pricing. We talk about it a lot on the podcast. End of the tax year is the perfect time to look at what you've actually earned this year, how much work that took to earn, and whether it actually felt worth it. Because if you've worked incredibly hard all this year and your profit is not reflecting that, something has to change. And it's usually your pricing. So the decision is simple. Are you going to go into the new tax year charging the same? Or are you adjusting your prices based on what you've actually learned this year? Because carrying underpricing into another year just compounds the problem and it doesn't get any better. I think it's also important to note that as business owners, every year that goes by, the more we learn, the more mistakes we've made, the more evidence we have of things that need to change, the more data we have. As you know, if you've ever listened to an episode of the 3Bs podcast, data is king. Data is so important. I'm a huge data nerd. But that data you are gathering every single year, every single day, every single month in your business, looking back at that is what helps you grow and build. And if you're looking to build a better business, which I presume you are by watching or listening to this podcast, now is the time to look at that data. Decision number 2, your clients. Now, this is where we have to get honest, and truthfully, this can be a little uncomfortable. I want you to look back at the last 12 months of your business. Make a note of which clients drained your time, caused unnecessary extra stress, paid late, or just didn't feel like a good fit. And on the flip side of that, I want you to look at the clients who value what you do, pay you properly and on time, and make the work enjoyable. Because not all revenue is equal. Some of it costs you far more than it gives you, and I don't just mean financially. I quite often sit back and look at my client base as a whole as which ones light me up. There was a TV advert a few years ago, and I think I've talked about it on the podcast before, and I think it was for Indeed or one of the job hunting sites, and the whole premise of the advert was love Mondays. If you don't love Mondays, you need to look on Indeed for a new job that makes you love Mondays. Building a business can be incredibly stressful. Growing a business can be highs and lows like you've never known before. It truly is a roller coaster. Entrepreneurship is something that is not for the faint-hearted, and you'll know that if you're in this world too. But I wake up on a Monday morning, and Mondays are my busiest day. So they're my CEO mornings. I have podcast recordings. I have all my catch up from the week before. I'm reviewing KPI data, and a lot of my client calls fall on a Monday. But I wake up on a Monday morning excited to get in the office. I wake up on a Monday morning just thinking how grateful I am that I get to do this for work. The business owners and the businesses that I get to work with and the impact that I get to have truly lights me up. And whether that's teaching the strategies in the book to children, whether that's client calls with existing clients, prospective discovery calls with new clients. These things make me so excited because everything I do is to help someone build a better business. And the minute that I get to do that, I love coming to work. I love having my time recording this for you all. If you don't love your Mondays, then why not? What is it that's making you not love your Monday? Because you're a business owner, you get to choose what your week looks like. You get to choose how you grow your business, when you work, how you work, what software you choose, what deliverables, what offers and products you sell and make. You should absolutely thrive and enjoy what you do. And if you're working with clients that are stressing you out, if you are getting stressed out trying to chase payments that aren't coming in, if you don't have the right workflows and the right efficiencies in your business, that you're getting stuck on the sticky bits that you didn't start a business to do, finance is a big part of that, then it's time to have a look at who to let go, what to carry forward, and what to leave behind. So the decision really is, who are you not taking into the next tax year? Because sometimes the best thing you can do for your business is create space, create capacity, remove some of those things that are causing you the stress so that you don't love your Mondays. Another decision you need to make is your systems. The end of the tax year is where the cracks start to show. And I think this is where more business owners than ever start to notice what took too long, what's messy, what's causing stress, and what you had to fix last minute. And I think they're the clues that you need to look for. I have a rule at ABCS UK that whenever something is sticky, whenever something is not as smooth as I'd like, whenever there's something I've had to go in and change or fix, or something that's taken more time than it needs to, then I will build something to fix that. I will look at that and rectify it. Now, when you're in the middle of busy seasons, so January, for example, when we're doing tax returns, sometimes I have to fix things last minute. I don't have time to go back on them. The end of the tax year is when I start to look at things that I haven't been able to fix, or things that I just dealt with at the time, but ideally in future instances of that particular situation, I need something that's going to make that less messy, take less time, and cause less stress. Systems and processes are not about being perfect. They are about making things easier next time. And I think it's important to say that your systems and processes are an ever-evolving set of documents. Processes change every single time you do something, whether the software changes where a button is, whether you realize there's a shortcut that's better, whether you need to find a different software because that pricing structure is going up and it's no longer the right fit for your business. Those little things are the bits you need to look at. So I guess decision 3 is, what are you fixing before April starts? And I'm not telling you to fix everything. Pick 1 or 2 things that are really starting to cause you a headache and fix those now before the next tax year kicks in. Decision 4, your financial visibility. Now, you knew this one was coming because I always talk about it, and I always will talk about this because it really matters. At the end of the tax year, you should have a clear idea of what you've made, what you owe, and where the business stands. But a lot of business owners don't. They wait for their accountant to tell them, and that creates stress because you're always reacting. I often use the analogy that if you went to the doctors and said, I had a really bad headache a month ago, there's not an awful lot that a doctor can do to help you. And it's like that for an accountant too. If we're having these conversations in the tax year, we can look at tax efficiencies, we can look at where we need to spend, where we need to save, create budgets, look at data that's actually going to make a difference to your tax position at the end of the year. If you come and see me on the 7th of April and want your tax return done, I can only deal with the information that's historical. I can't help make a difference or an impact to the end tax position once the tax year has passed. So this decision is really important. Are you going into the next tax year still guessing? Or are you going to start properly understanding your numbers? Because your numbers are not just for compliance, they are for control. And as I said, if you're looking to build a business, which I presume you are by watching or listening to the 3Bs podcast, it's time to start looking at your numbers. And finally, the 5th decision you need to make before the new tax year starts is your time. Because this is the one that's so often overlooked by business owners. Look back at the last 12 months, the last year. Where did your time actually go? And more importantly, Was it spent on the right things? Because most business owners are busy, but not always productive. We talked about it a few episodes ago. There is a difference between the two. The decision here is, what are you not taking into the next tax year? What are you stopping? What are you putting more of your time and effort into? Because doing more is not always the answer, but doing the right things are. And with this one, when you're looking at your time, where do you want to spend your time? It's not always about what is the most profitable either. As a business owner, it's so important that we strive for that work-life balance. And I say strive because I don't think any of us ever achieve it. I think there's always a sacrifice to be made from one or the other. But you also need to make sure time and effort is put into both. If you were working 60-hour weeks, which I know many of you watching and listening to this do, when did you take time for yourself? Next tax year, are you looking to take more time for yourself? Do you want to close in August like I do for the summer holidays? Do you want to take more holidays? Do you want to travel more? Do you want to do more markets? Do you want to do more work? Do you want to take on more clients? Do you want to put more time into the business because you spent more time on life? There's no right or wrong answer here either. It's unique to you and your unique circumstances. But it's important not to just keep plodding along and actually look at this and go, this is what I want to aim for in the next tax year. Here's the honest part. You don't need a new year to make these decisions either. You don't need January. You don't need April. You don't even need a Monday. But the end of the tax year is a natural checkpoint. So it's a chance to pause, look at what actually happened, and make informed decisions on what you want your next 12 months to look like. When you look back at what actually happened, is it what you hoped would happen? Or is it something completely different? If you take one thing from this episode, let it be this. Your next year in business will be shaped by the decisions you make right now. Not in a few weeks, not in a few months, right now. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one decision from this episode, just one. You've got 5 to choose from, and act on it this week. Because your business deserves better than I'll sort it later. And when you've made that one decision and acted on it, drop me a message on social media. Come and find us on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, TikTok, and send me a DM and let me know what decision you chose, what actions you've made on it, so that I can cheer you along and be behind you and help you be accountable to yourself to build a better business. If you found this episode useful, please do like, rate and review. It really does help more business owners find this podcast so that we can all build better businesses. And if your finances currently feel messy, reactive or unclear as we head into the new tax year and you want some support with it, that is exactly what we help clients fix at ABCS UK. You can find links in the show notes to book a discovery call, get 15 minutes in my diary. Let me see how we can help you best. Thank you so much for listening to the 3Bs podcast, episode 156. I will see you next week for the final episode of Series 3. Bye. And that brings us to the end of another episode of the 3Bs podcast. I hope you found it useful and that you're walking away with some motivation, inspiration, or education to help you build a better business. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and of course connect with us on social media for more insights, tips, and behind the scenes content. Your next step in building a better business is just a click away. I can't wait to connect with you, and I'll see you on the next episode. Bye.